All right, so maybe when you hear finance, your brain kind of glazes over, right? Like spreadsheets, stock options, not exactly the most thrilling stuff.
Yeah, I get it.
But hold on, because today's deep dive is about a specific career path that's way more than just numbers and charts. We're talking about becoming an investment fund management assistant.
And that's a role that can actually be, dare I say, exciting.
Okay, spill the tea. What's so exciting about being an investment fund management assistant?
Well, it's way more dynamic than people think. You're not just stuck in a cubicle crunching numbers all day. There's actually a lot of client interaction.
Oh, really? Tell me more about that.
Yeah, you're working with clients, helping them figure out their financial goals. And then, this is the cool part, you get to be part of the team that makes those goals a reality through smart investing.
So you're like a financial detective, piecing together the puzzle of how to make investments grow.
Exactly.
We've been digging through this info pack from RoleCatcher, and they break down the day-to-day of the job in a really cool way. One thing that stands out is just how varied the tasks are. We're talking financial planning advice, being the point person for clients, both new and existing, and even getting your hands dirty, helping create and manage the funds themselves. That's pretty hands-on.
It really is. And that's why you need a good mix of skills for this. You're analyzing market data, wrapping your head around complex financial stuff, but then you need to communicate it clearly to clients.
Right, because at the end of the day, you're dealing with people and their money.
Absolutely. And the thing is, it's not just about knowing the numbers. You're constantly learning, keeping up with the latest financial trends, and using tech to make sense of it all.
It's like you're a financial air traffic controller, staying calm, making sure everything runs smoothly, even when the market gets a little turbulent.
That's a great way to put it. And that's why strong communication is key. You're building those relationships, explaining complex ideas in a way that makes sense, and working closely with fund managers to actually put those investment decisions into action.
All right, so we've talked about what it takes, but let's get real. What's the payoff for all that hard work?
Well, for starters, the earning potential is pretty sweet.
Oh, how sweet are we talking?
We're not just talking about a decent salary here. As you climb that career ladder and gain experience, you could be looking at a six-figure income, maybe even more, depending on how well you do.
Okay, now you're speaking my language. So, not just managing money, but potentially making bank yourself. I like it. But tell me, besides the paycheck, what are some of the other perks?
Well, you're working in this really fast-paced environment with a lot at stake, and you often get to rub shoulders with some pretty big names in finance.
Oh, like CEOs and fancy investors.
Exactly. You might even cross paths with a celebrity client or two. You never know.
So there's definitely a certain level of prestige that comes with the territory.
Absolutely. And you get to learn from some of the best in the business. You're exposed to all these different investment strategies. You see how decisions are made at the top, and you build this incredible network of contacts.
That's golden. But gotta be realistic, right? They
Yeah.
can't all be champagne and caviar. There's gotta be some downsides too. What are some of the challenges someone should be ready for?
Right. It's definitely not a cakewalk. It's demanding long hours, especially as you move up.
So not exactly a 9 to 5 where you can just shut off at the end of the day.
Exactly. And you have to be a constant learner. The market's always changing, so you got to stay ahead of the curve, which honestly can be exciting too.
True, true. Keeps things interesting, right? But I imagine all that pressure, the constant need to stay one step ahead, that's going to take its toll.
Yeah, there's definitely a certain level of stress that comes with the job. You got to be able to make those tough calls, even when things get a little crazy in the market.
That makes sense. You're dealing with people's money, after all, so the stakes are high. Okay, so we've got our brains buzzing about the possibilities and maybe a little intimidated by the challenges, but let's shift gears and talk about how someone actually breaks into this field. What kind of education and experience are we talking about? So, you're ready to jump into the world of investment fund management. What's the first step? Do you need one of those fancy degrees from a big name university?
Well, a prestigious school can definitely help, but it's not the only way in. A solid education is key, though.
Okay, so what are we talking here?
The usual suspects are finance, economics, business administration. Those are the classics.
Makes sense.
But here's something that might surprise you. Even math, statistics, or even computer science can be super relevant.
Wait, computer science. So coding your way to Wall Street is a real thing.
Oh, absolutely. Think about it. Financial modeling, data analysis, even things like algorithmic trading, all that requires some serious tech skills.
Right. Makes sense. You're dealing with massive amounts of data.
Exactly. And these days, technology is how we make sense of it all, how we manage those investments and make those split-second decisions.
So it's not just about understanding the financial stuff, it's about knowing how to use the tools of the trade.
Okay, what about those certifications I always hear about, like the CFP and CFA? Are those just fancy letters you tack onto your name, or do they actually mean something in the industry?
Those certifications, they definitely carry some weight.
Yeah. How so? Think of it like this, a certification like the Certified Financial Planner, the CFP, or the Chartered Financial Analyst, the CFA. It's a signal to potential employers that you've gone the extra mile. You've proven you've got the skills and knowledge to cut it in this world.
It's like a stamp of approval, right?
Exactly. It shows a commitment to learning, to staying ahead of the game, which in finance is huge. The industry is constantly evolving.
You got to keep learning or you get left behind.
Exactly.
Okay, so you've aced your exams, maybe even got a shiny new certification or two. What's the path look like from there? What's the typical career trajectory?
So starting as an assistant is pretty common. It's all about getting that hands-on experience, learning the ropes. As you gain more expertise, you might move into a junior fund manager role, and eventually you could be calling the shots as a senior fund manager.
Sounds pretty straightforward.
Well, here's the cool part. It's not always a straight line.
Oh, so you can kind of carve out your own path.
Exactly. Some people specialize in certain types of funds, like hedge funds or mutual funds. Others become experts in specific industries or investment strategies. There's room to really make your mark and become a go-to expert in whatever area lights you up.
I like that, finding your niche, so it's not just one size fits all.
Definitely not. And let's not forget about the importance of good old-fashioned experience. RoleCatcher, they really hit this home: internships, volunteering, networking.
Right, because sometimes it's not just what you know, but who you know, right?
100%.
Yeah.
Networking can open doors you never even knew existed.
So true. It's all about building those connections. All right, so let's say you've landed an interview for that dream investment fund management assistant position. What kind of questions should you be ready to tackle?
They're going to want to see how your brain works. They'll be looking for your analytical thinking, how you understand those investment strategies, how you handle risk. So be ready for questions like, how would you assess an investment opportunity? Or how would you manage risk in a volatile market?
So don't just give them a textbook answer.
Right. They want to see your thought process, how you break things down, how you explain your reasoning.
Show them you can think on your feet.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
don't be afraid to let that passion for finance shine through.
Yeah.
Be ready with real-life examples, whether it's from internships, personal investing, whatever you've got, anything that shows them you're not just going through the motions, that you're genuinely interested in this field.
Show them what you've got.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, there you have it, our deep dive into the world of investment fund management assistants.
It's a wild ride.
It really seems like it. It's fast-paced, challenging, and you could even say a little bit glamorous.
And who knows, maybe you'll be rubbing shoulders with those Wall Street bigwigs before you know it.
I love it. If this deep dive has sparked your interest and you're hungry for more, head over to RoleCatcher. They've got tons of great resources to help you navigate the world of finance. From in-depth guides to sample interview questions, they've got you covered.
And you never know, maybe you'll be the one managing our money someday.
Wouldn't that be something? Thanks for tuning in, everyone, and we'll catch you on our next deep dive.